Hi guys, welcome back to Austin Underground. I'm Nastassja and I'm here at South by Southwest with Ramesh from Voxtrot. How are you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm great. How is South by treating you so far?
It's been brief so far, so I didn't really, I guess on Monday night actually I went and saw New Order, which was terrific. And then yesterday we had our rehearsals out in Lockhart, so we were there and then I don't think we got back into town until 10 o'clock or something.
Yeah, I heard a lot about the New Order show. That seemed cool.
It was really cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you got to attend.
Yeah.
So, starting off with the questions.
Yes.
So you are someone who's native to Austin, which is really cool, and you've been in the music scene since the early 2000s here, which is also really insane. So how have you kind of seen this scene change and grow over time?
I think now it has more of, now it has more of the flavor of an industry, but I think maybe when people hear that, they'll think that I'm saying something bad, but as someone who works in the entertainment industry, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just a different thing. It's like in the past, like when Voxtrot was first coming up, we definitely had a scene, and it was a very tight-knit scene. A lot of different kinds of music all working together, not that many venues at that time, comparatively. But there was not very much like proper music industry to speak of. And I think just with the various festivals becoming bigger and bigger over the almost 2 decades, it feels like there's more of what I would consider an industry presence here, where somebody could like move to Austin and expect to get a job, have a career in music. Or I think in the past that was more relegated to just if you were a career musician. But now it feels like there's this whole other structure.
Yeah, for sure. And in addition to living in Austin, I saw that you lived in Berlin for a little bit, which was really interesting. And there you had wrote the song Berlin Without Return. I was wondering if you had just any meaning that you wanted to share about this song, or anything that inspired you about Berlin to write this song.
Well, the song I actually wrote, I wrote after I left Berlin, but I had, when I lived there, I was first living by myself, and then I was living with this friend of mine, because I also used to live in Scotland. I don't know if you know that, but this friend of mine who was like friends with my friends there, she's an artist, and she was living in Berlin. So the first part of my living there was very lonely. And then when she and I became friends, I kind of got introduced to her whole world, and it was amazing. But it was like this short-lived, it was like a lot of partying, super chaotic, and then it was just over really fast, and I came back to the United States. So that song was kind of based on my leaving Berlin, but also on my friendship with her, because even though I'm gay and she's straight, we were just friends. It was like almost like we lived in this quasi sort of marriage situation. So it was kind of like a love thing, but not really. Yeah. And leaving there, it's sort of like leaving that time and place with her was just leaving behind this whole era that I had.
Yeah. And going off of what you said about, I know you're very just open online about being LGBTQ and being gay, and I just wanted to know if you have any specific idols that have always stuck out to you within the music industry.
Well, I didn't in the past, but I do now. Because in the past I felt like there was nobody, but that's not entirely true, because there are some very well-known, but comparatively to not gay people, have not been that many. But I mean, George Michael is one of my absolute favorite artists of all time. I now revere him. So I would say he's the artist that I kind of think of as somebody who's always been there since conscious memory for me, who's been out for a pretty long time, kind of also with Elton John, but who I think of as like an amazing gay artist.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. He's wonderful.
Incredible, so talented.
No, for real, definitely. And talking just about the band in general and how you guys had, I guess, broken up for 12 years, what was it like last year to go on tour with this band again, and even now to be at South by Southwest playing again? Like, what is this experience like after so many years?
It was surprising for us that I think we assumed that the energy would be very much like people that used to listen to the band coming out to relive the past for one night. So we were very pleasantly surprised to see that there was this whole new energy of younger listeners that have come along in those 12 years. So totally different. It was way more like charged and celebratory than we were expecting, which is kind of one of the reasons that we're continuing on to now record another album. Is it felt like, it didn't feel just like a reunion. It felt like picking up where something had left off.
Yeah, and I can completely agree to that. Going to your last show, I mean, seeing the crowd, they were so hyped to see you guys, and everybody, was just super excited. It was one of the coolest concerts I had been to, just because of the energy in the room. Like, it really stuck out to me. It's something that I thought was super memorable.
Oh, wow, thank you very much.
So you guys have an amazing fan base, that's for sure. Yeah. So thinking about just your career as a whole, do you have any moments like on stage or from tour or just anything throughout your career as a musician that has really stuck out to you and has stuck with you through these years?
Like specific memories?
Yeah, just memories, maybe things that people have said or something having to do with like a tour moment or a moment on stage, anything like that.
I guess the first thing that springs to mind is that when we played, I mean, there's probably so many from back in the day, but in recent memory, the first thing that springs to mind is just when we played the first show back at Webster Hall in New York in September. Not knowing what the reaction would be like, was in the line afterward in the merch line, like when we set up to sell the t-shirts, first of all, we sold every single item that we'd bought for the whole tour in that one night, because we didn't know, like we just kind of based it on what we used to sell. But numbers aside, it was like all of the people and then all of the things that they were saying and the stories about how Voxtrot had come into their lives and changed their lives was like way above and beyond what I expected and what used to happen when we were what I thought like a more popular band back in the day, or like a buzzy band. It was never that reverent. So that was like incredible to me. That was like really like igniting.
Yeah, that's amazing. And one last little question. I know you kind of touched on it with the album, but what else is in store for Voxtrot in the future? What can we expect?
We just started in January. We just started recording the new album. So we kind of have like a few demos working, and I would say hopefully we finish it by the fall, which hopefully means it comes out in the spring.
Yeah.
But it's hard because we don't all live I live here, 3 of us live here, but we don't all live in Texas, so it's like a lot of logistics, but that's the goal.
Is it a lot of like traveling, trying to...
Yeah. Even this, it's a lot.
Yeah,
like we have to get everybody here, and we have a few days of rehearsal leading up to it, and we rehearse in Lockhart, and some of us live here, so it's a big circus, but somehow it works.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Okay, so thank you for sitting down with us.
Yes,
before we end this, where can everybody find you online so that they can stay in touch?
You can find us at voxtrot.net, but I don't know. I need to rehab that website. It's looking kind of neglected. Well, Jared did a good job with it, but feels like, I don't know, compared to like a website in the modern age, we need to do something with it. But we're there on Instagram and all that good stuff.
All right, well, you heard it here. Follow Voxtrot on everything, on their website, on their social media. Make sure to follow Austin Underground on all of our social media as well, and check out our website at austinunderground.org. Until next time.
Thank you very much.